Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Mer Fatemi. Getting into our third segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about the Oklahoma City Thunder matching up against the Denver Nuggets in a crucial game two for the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. It's going to be about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander versus Nikola Jokić in the MVP conversation. Of course, those are the two heads of the race, and that's really the headline of this series. If we're going to talk about more, we can also talk about Russell Westbrook returning to OKC. It was kind of nice to see Russell Westbrook go back to OKC and have a little bit of a have the fans giving him a little bit of a standing ovation, because that is where Russell Westbrook started his career. He left his heart and soul on the court over there. He never wanted to leave. It was just the fact that he wanted to win an NBA title. And in that standpoint, in that state of the Oklahoma City Thunder, he wasn't doing it. He was carrying the team on both sides of the ball, losing young talent left and right. Paul George obviously going to LA before his departure. Carmelo Anthony as well, which he brought in, departing for Portland. Steven Adams departing for Memphis. A lot of players, a lot of guys just moving around for this Oklahoma City Thunder team at the time, and Russell Westbrook just couldn't stay. So it's just it's nice to see him come back. The fans rejoice him, give him his moment, and just a little kumbaya moment, as we like to call it in the sports world. Just a heartwarming moment. But yeah, Russell Westbrook did not remember how to play from his Oklahoma City days in Game One, where he showed up and showed out in Game One. Going off for 18 points off the bench. That's basically what you want from a Russell Westbrook. And he's he's continuing to have a phenomenal playoffs, had a phenomenal series against the Clippers, now having a great game in Game 1. Let's see if he can continue that streak into Game 2 as well. Of course, we have to talk about Nikola Jokić. Nikola Jokić going off for 42 points, 22 rebounds in Game 1. He's going to need to continue to play at that level if the Nuggets want to have an opportunity to win not only Game 2, but the series. He's one of the X factors for this Nuggets team. If he reverts back to Clippers Nikola Jokić, where he was going off for 13, 10, and 12, 18, 10, and 11, it's good. He's still scoring triple doubles, absolutely, and he's an efficient all-around player. But we need more scoring efficiency out of him, man. Scoring is incredibly important, unless you're playing the Golden State Warriors. But outside of that, because these playoffs, especially against a player like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who you know is going to get his baskets, he's going to get to the free throw line, he's going to have his opportunities to score the basketball. If you know there's a player like that out there, you need to be able to answer that call. You need Jamal Murray to be with you. You need Aaron Gordon to be with you. You need your whole team ready to go. And even though they had a quiet first half, they figured it out in the second half. Nikola Jokić, we saw him animated on the bench before that second half of Game 1. And then that second half just flipping a switch. And honestly, I said it before yesterday, that was the best Denver Nuggets half of basketball I've probably seen them play in my probably since they won the title 2 years ago. I'd say that was just how phenomenal they played all around, and they need to continue to play at a similar level. Maybe they don't need to play consistently at that level because of just how dominant they were. I don't think they're going to shoot the ball at that level that they did, but in terms of playing at that level, rebounding, playing in terms of defensive tenacity, you need to continue to play at that level if you want an opportunity to win this series. And honestly, I'm happy I just said that because that is exactly where I want to go. I said X factor number 1. Nikola Jokić playing at a high level, being able to match up with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander offensively. X factor number 2 for this Denver Nuggets team. Rebounding, rebounding, rebounding. The same X factor against the Clippers. I said immediately after Game 1, the reason why the Nuggets came back in Game 1 against the Clippers is because of their rebounding. It didn't happen once, didn't happen twice, it happened 3 or 4 times against the Clippers. Regardless of the series going 7 games, A lot of it was because of Kawhi either going off for 39 points, James Harden going off for 28 points in Game 6. There was a lot of all-around, the blowout in Game 3. There were a lot of all-around performances that allowed the Clippers to steal games. But the reason the Nuggets team was able to win this series, we saw it with the putback game-winning dunk from Aaron Gordon. It is the rebounding of the Denver Nuggets that puts them head and shoulders above everybody else. They did it against the Clippers. They just did it again in Game 1 against the Thunder. 42 and 22 rebounds for Nikola Jokić. 22 points, 14 rebounds for Aaron Gordon. 11 points, 13 rebounds for Christian Braun. 21.6 rebounds for Jamal Murray. These are players that they're awesome. But to have a team, have 3 players on the team go off for double-doubles themselves, you're not putting yourself in a position to win in those situations. Plain and simple. And this was on a day where Michael Porter Jr. had a quiet day. Only 2 points, 4 rebounds for him in Game 1. We've seen him go off for 15 and 15 like he did against the Clippers. We saw Russell Westbrook go off for a double-double against the Clippers as well. This is a team that is incredibly loaded, being able to not only score the ball, get yourself extra opportunities for offensive possessions, get yourself to the free throw line, incredibly physical. Just on overall, this is the Nuggets were probably one of the most underrated teams going into the playoffs. And if they can continue to play at this level, this is a championship level team right now. If they can continue to play at this level, I like their chances to knock off OKC. OKC is still one of the best teams in the Western Conference, but this is a Nuggets team that has a lot of experience, and this is a Thunder team, frankly, that has a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Absolutely, he's a bona fide superstar in the league right now. But if we're going to go down the line, Jalen Williams, I guess we can start there. Jalen Williams is going to need to be an X factor for this Thunder team. 16 points, 5 of 20 from the field, 2 for 9 from three-point range. This is a Jalen Williams that we know can go off for 30 points whenever he wants. He can go off for 25, 20, 30, 40. We've seen him go off for 40 points in the regular season. The problem is, this is the playoffs. This is the time where you need to show up. This is where you get your titles. We have James Harden getting the title of Game 7 choker. We have Steph Curry getting the title of the boogeyman of the Western Conference. We have playoff Jimmy Butler. We have Ant-Man, who's turning into a superstar, into a legend killer title. We have LeBron James as the GOAT title. The Slim Reaper in Kevin Durant. These are all guys that gain their titles, gain their credibility in the playoffs. If you want to gain your credibility, Jalen Williams, you need to show up in the playoffs. 5 of 20 is not going to cut it, especially as being known as the number 2 option on this Oklahoma City team. And this was a big reason why I was worried about this Oklahoma City team, because they're very top-heavy with Shai. I keep saying Shai, I apologize. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're incredibly top-heavy. And then they have a great group of guys around them, but none of them are reliable. This is the 3rd youngest team in the NBA right now, with an average age, I think, of an average age of 23 years old, if I'm remembering correctly, 23 or 24 years of age. This is an incredibly, incredibly young team, and they're growing around one another, and they're gaining confidence. But when you're going up against a championship level team in the Denver Nuggets, it's a similar standpoint as the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have a bunch of young guys that have not been in this situation, and experience is playing a role into how these games are playing out. Tight games come down to experience. We saw it with the Warriors and Rockets series. We saw it with the Knicks and Pistons series. We saw it with the Celtics and Magic series. That's about it. Basically, this is how these series are transpiring right now. And if the Thunder want to have an opportunity, they have to keep their foot on the gas. They have to keep their head down. They have to go full steam ahead. I would not be shocked if this is a similar standpoint with how Donovan Mitchell went off last night for the Cavs. I would not be shocked if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes off for 30 if not 40 points in this one. This in game one, he went off for 33 as well. But this is a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that is going to need to put his team on his back if we see another Nikola Jokić 40-point game, which honestly, as the best player in the league, after what we saw in game one, I would not be shocked if we saw it again. Jamal Murray, we know he can play better. He can score better than 21 points. We could see another 43 bomb whenever we want out of Jamal Murray, like we saw in game 5 against the Clippers. Aaron Gordon, we can see him go off for another 22-point and 14-rebound game. He is an X factor for this Nuggets team, and I've lamented it over the last couple weeks that he is an X factor whenever he can get that three-point shot going and he can spread the floor, give Jokić some more room on the interior, give him another option on the exterior to get a shot off for a pick and pop three. That is the threat that Aaron Gordon poses. And being able to crash the basket, being able to shoot from outside, when he can get into a rhythm like that, he can be an X factor for this Nuggets team. And he was an X factor in game 1, scoring the game winner over Chet Holmgren. Was it Chet Holmgren? It was either Chet Holmgren or it was Jalen Williams. I think it was Jalen Williams. But yeah. Do I think the Nuggets can win game 2? I think they can. But I'm not saying they will. I'm not crazy. This is an Oklahoma City team that is ready to go. This is the number 1 team, the number 1 best record in the NBA, number one rated efficiency on offense and defense, one of the most underrated teams in NBA history, probably the best team in the NBA regular season. They're going to need to show up tonight. And if they can split going back to Denver, I think it only helps them, and it helps their confidence significantly. Jalen Williams needs to show up in this one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I already expect to show up, but he also needs to show up as the number 1 option on this Oklahoma City team. It is about Shai. It's about Jalen Williams. It's about the 2 guys in the inside with Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren needs to remind us that he's not going to miss back-to-back free throws that could have iced the game in game 1. Regardless of how you slice it, this is an Oklahoma City team that has a lot to prove, and I believe they're going to prove it tonight. So I got the Oklahoma City Thunder tying this series back up at one game apiece, and we go back to Denver over the weekend, tied at 1 game apiece, in what will be a crucial game 3 and game 4. But yeah. That's just my take on it. I'm going to take another short break. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears back over to the Indiana Pacers. I said we were going to bring this back up. Tyrese Halliburton, the quote-unquote most overrated player in the NBA. We have a lot to discuss about him, how he's played in the NBA playoffs this year, how he's really led this Indiana Pacers team to a 2-0 series lead in the second round, in a team that a lot of people thought might not even make it to the second round, might lose in the first round, might not even make it past the Milwaukee Bucks, might fall to the play-in tournament. This is the same Indiana Pacers team. So we have a lot to talk about them, and Tyrese Halliburton specifically, is he the most overrated player in the NBA? You're watching the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.